Hello, so we are now live streaming our second event, which is coming up now. We'll be having Brandon Cooper present to us information on workforce disruption. So I'm going to let him get started, and I'm excited to let you all watch this.
Hello, my name is Brandon Cooper. I am the CEO of Aphid, serial entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for quite some time, over a decade. Self-taught, always had a passion for impacting the world. I think this is a great platform, a great opportunity for me to speak about social justice, where we are in 2020. It's been a very, very interesting year, to say the least. But blessed to be here, blessed to talk and just share my experience and what it is that I'm contributing to humanity as a whole. I really believe we're just all co-creating and everything is one big energy field. Just sharing this experience with you. So thank you for joining me and lending me your ear for the shorter amount of time. Again, as I mentioned, I'm the CEO of Aphid. We are disrupting the workforce economy. The workforce economy is basically, a typical 9 to 5 workforce, right? We're doing that with business. We're doing that for the everyday individual. Today, I'm going to mainly focus about the everyday individual and what that means. Typically, everyone goes to a job and they work, and we spend so much time away from our families. And me being in the tech field, I've seen that we don't have the same opportunities as other people. But what I mean is people of color don't have the same opportunities that other ethnicities may have. 1% of venture capital goes to our community, right? The average black family is spending all of the money that they receive within 6 hours. It stays in our community for 6 hours, opposed to like Chinese, where it circulates for, I believe, roughly about 27 days or so. Big difference, big gaps, and these things have been systematically put into, out into the ether. And there are things that we have to reconfigure to change things. I've chose this particular image that I want to talk about social justice is it shows a raising the hand because we as people of color are typically the ones raising our hand, asking for help, trying to get help. And I believe this is the start of something that has to change where we need people on the other side that are actually doing the helping and looking at the people who have their hands raised. Because what happens is people are going to choose people in a crowd that they may share more interest with or more relatability, right? But there's a reason why only 1% is receiving venture capital, systematic oppression. So we have to get to the root of it. We need more people of color in investment banking and venture capital and as angel investors, hedge funds, private equity, right? All of these things are so key to our communities, right? And if we don't start to get those people in as, putting the suits on, then nothing is going to change. I've just from the eye test, things have looked a lot different in terms of I've seen people start to step in. I want to see a lot more. We have to increase it and figure out what it's going to take to actually fund companies and fund entrepreneurs who have these great visions and these great business ideas and be able to turn them into profits, and we can start to create this generational wealth. But I would like to go ahead and proceed into about what we're doing as a company, as Aphid, and what got me into entrepreneurship. When I was young, I was in college around the age of, I want to say 17, 18. And I went to a friend's apartment. He invited me over. It was a network marketing company. And there's a guy on the TV. He was talking about Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrants. And then cash flow quadrant, I had never seen anything like this. There was some other people in there, and they were watching along with me. They were playing around, laughing, or they didn't really take it serious. But In this video, this individual named Robert was talking about Robert Kiyosaki. So two Roberts, but and he talked about the different ways that people are paid. The first way that, or the first quadrant in the way that people are paid is the employee quadrant, the E quadrant, where you have a job, but you don't have time leverage, so you have to be there. If you don't work, you don't get paid. And this accounts for 5% of the wealth. The amount of active work depends on your income. So time equals money. Then you have the S quadrant, which is the self-employed quadrant. The self-employed quadrant is basically you own a job. There is no time leverage, but 95% of the population is contributing to this here. The amount of active work determines your income here. Time also equals money here. This may be you own an Applebee's, but it's kind of like you're running an adult daycare center. And then you have the B quadrant. You own a system. You've created this system. People work with you. That means you started a business. You have business partners. And these people are running this system to make money collectively. And then you have the I quadrant. In the I quadrant, you own your investments. You have complete leverage, just like owning a business, but this is where your money makes you money. So you invest money and then you accrue the interest on it. Maybe you put money in a Swiss bank account, or you've invested in stocks or whatever it may be. That money has grown exponentially over time. And a lot of people are unaware of the I quadrant and what it takes to get into the I quadrant. You can utilize your funds from E, S, and B to get into the I quadrant. But the biggest thing you want to stay away from is the E quadrant, because you're taxed the most, have little to no tax benefits at all. It's really set up for you to lose. The more you make, the more you're actually taxed. So you really want to stay out of there. And the S quadrant is okay, but you just have to be there. You're in a way, you're a slave to your own business. So I recommend that you stay in the B and the I quadrant for your future. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because in terms of where the economy is today, people are trying to find different side hustles and things like that. But I remember going into one of my first jobs, and at that job, I knew it wasn't where I wanted to be in the future, right? If you went into a job and they showed you on the wall 62,000 hours and it counted downward to say, this is the amount of time that you're going to work here at the company. Welcome. Have a good one. And if you could sit there and look at that number on the wall and it was counting downward, you would drive yourself crazy. But we don't think of it that way. We dice it up. 8 hours here, 8 hours here, 8 hours here, 8 hours here, 8 hours here. But collectively, this is the amount of time from 16 until you're almost 70 and retired. These are the hours that you are going to spend away from your loved ones, your friends, and your family, and then also for yourself, right? So you have to work, right, in order to make a living. But when you start to look at things from this side of the spectrum, this can't be life. What's the alternative? What's on the other side? And then we have here Aphid, which is our company. We're based out of Los Angeles, Silicon Beach. And Aphid is just an insect that can reproduce itself at a very, very fast rate. It can clone itself. Even the babies are pregnant. It can clone itself through asexual reproduction, meaning it doesn't need a partner to actually become pregnant. And Aphid as a company, we're a fintech company disrupting the 9-to-5 workforce with artificial intelligence and also utilizing blockchain technology. What we've created is called an A-clone, which is in a way a digital version of yourself, in which case you create a sales agent in our network, in our ecosystem. And this sales agent, this chatbot, works on the websites that we partner with. And if it makes a lead or a sale, you get a commission for it. This is going to allow you to become omnipresent. You are known as the controller of your bot. You're the operator of your bot. You're the one that can manage it. You can change the avatar on it. Eventually, you'll be able to download a certain language to it in our bot store. And how it works, so you understand what I'm saying, I can just kind of bring it in full circle for you again. You sign up on a subscription. You would create your digital sales agent. It's already pre-trained. We already tell it what to do once it goes to that particular site. It knows how to respond. It's called a model. So that model's already been trained for you. And the A clone goes on that site. If a customer makes a purchase, then you as the controller receive a commission for it. Your A clone is basically randomly selected in our ecosystem to be summoned out. So it's just waiting in the cockpit, pretty much waiting for the network to call it out to one of those sites. When it's called, it can make a potential sale. And this is mind blowing because we're so used to what we've done in the past, which is a job, right? All manual labor, takes away time from your family, just like, as we mentioned before. Low annual pay increases. It's stressful. You have risk of layoff. You only get 2 days off a week. It takes 2 weeks to receive a paycheck, typically. And then they add more and more responsibilities, but they don't increase your pay. All right. Or they might give you a raise, but gas just went up and it offsets that raise, or wherever that raise may be. And the raise might be 25 cents, 50 cents. It's really not worth your time. Then over here we have, in comparison, we have Aphid. Your A clone does the labor for you. You spend more time with your family because now you have multiple versions of you working at once. Limitless income earning potential. There's no layoff risk at all. Same day payouts. If a transaction is done utilizing like digital assets, you can receive your money within the same day once the network completes the transaction. And then you also will have different community bonuses as well. The importance of time leveraging and delegating tasks is the secret sauce to disrupting the 9 to 5 and changing the economy. Earning from the efforts of what we call the workforce leveraging system. This is our patent pending technology. We've created it where the machines are working for you. It's recession proof. We've been able to create this company in the midst of a pandemic and a recession, which has been awesome. In times of turmoil, some of these items that will be sold within the network might include items that are a necessity, or we saw what happened with toilet paper or whatever it may be. Your bot will be able to, use do those transactions on those websites. And then you power up your A clone in our network with our tokens. So we have tokens that are going to power the bots, just like Chuck E. Cheese. The more tokens you have, the more it's going to operate, the more you can play. You'll have access to a control panel. So in this control panel, you'll see all of your analytics. You'll be able to manage your bot. If you want to upgrade your plan to a higher plan, you can have more than one bot. You'll have access to your Aphid Pay wallet. So you can change out how you want to basically pay for your subscription and buy more tokens. And then if you want to edit the decision tree, which is how you automate the responses for your own particular page, you can go in there and modify that dialogue on how it actually will respond. So remember this, 62,000 hours of your time. Is it really worth it? And if you're looking at this and you're 30, you're looking at this and you're 40, if you're looking at this and you're 50, do the hours, how many hours are remaining now from this point on. It's very, very important to know that. So it's time for us as people who have been pushed out of the door, that we start to get on the other side of the money and start to take more control, start being creators and not customers. So with that being said, my name is Brandon Cooper. I want to thank you for your
We're very happy to have Brandon join us. We're going to get started with our next session, which is Antoinette Ortega, and she'll be discussing some important stuff. Thank you, Brandon Cooper and Aphid, for presenting that amazing presentation. and sharing with us more information about workforce disruption.